No reason for anyone from a township to go to a mayor's conference. A mayor's conference is a mayor's conference for mayors.
The legal appointment, that's what the trustees I talked to are calling this. They say the news took them by surprise, and now they're talking to legal counsel to figure out their next steps.
Get ready, because today we're diving into one of the most scandalous stories unfolding in suburban Chicago right now. This drama has it all: accusations of corruption, misuse of taxpayer money, retaliation, and get this, the FBI is finally involved. Yes, we're talking about Tiffany Henyard, the self-proclaimed super mayor of Dolton, Illinois, who's also the township supervisor for Thornton. You've probably seen her name popping up all over the news lately, and for good reason. From flashy parties to accusations of political intimidation, this story keeps getting juicier by the day.
But it saddens my heart that you are up here at this special meeting and not downstairs where we have big bingo.
So, what's the tea on Tiffany Henyard? And why is the FBI sniffing around? Buckle up, because things are about to get wild. It all started when rumors of Henyard's questionable activities began to swirl, but no one could have predicted how far this would go. For nearly 2 years, whispers about her alleged corruption have been circulating, and it's finally catching up to her. Business owners, village employees, and even trustees are speaking out, revealing what they claim is a web of corruption and power grabs. And it seems like the FBI has finally decided to step in and unravel the mess.
Coming in, unfortunately, we knew it was going to be a little messy, but it's just something we felt important that had to be done, that should be done. So, but like I said, you have just some accountability.
But how did it all go so wrong? Well, let's just say Tiffany Henyard has been living large on the taxpayer's dime, or so her critics claim. We're talking lavish trips, massive spending on personal security, and alleged pressure on local businesses to make donations to her political campaigns. Yep, it's messy, and people in Dolton are furious. Let's break this down, starting with how the FBI got involved. Apparently, business owners in Dolton have been facing all kinds of hurdles when it comes to running their businesses, and not because of market conditions, but because they didn't line up to support Henyard's political ambitions.
Deep debt, and that is the finding of an investigation of village finances and the spending habits of beleaguered Mayor Tiffany Henyard.
One of the most shocking cases involves Lawrence Gardner, who owns a U-Haul rental and trucking business in Dolton. Gardner says his business license was denied renewal simply because he refused to donate to a civic event sponsored by Henyard. In fact, Gardner claims he was harassed by the Dolton police, and his business was even raided after he declined to open his wallet for Henyard's event. That's when Gardner decided to take matters into his own hands and went straight to the FBI, and he's not alone.
One way that the government always does it is to go and investigate people around her, and that's what they're doing here.
Several other business owners in the area have reported similar experiences. Dwayne Wood, who runs a local restaurant, also believes he's been targeted. His restaurant has been catering for some Dolton trustees who are opposed to Henyard, and now, surprise, he can't get his business license renewed either. Coincidence? Not likely. Wood hasn't spoken directly to the FBI, but he's pretty sure his business is being blackballed because of his association with Henyard's political enemies.
I do not handle anything as relates to with credit cards. As you heard me speak today in my board meeting about, I do not handle that.
Some of those charges are for you, though.
No, sir.
This isn't just affecting one or two businesses, it seems like a pattern. Another lawsuit filed by Georgia's Towing accuses Henyard of holding up their business license as well. And the reason? You guessed it, because they wouldn't contribute to her political campaign. If you're thinking this sounds like a bad crime show plot, you're not alone. It's exactly the kind of small town scandal that gets everyone talking, and people are demanding answers.
Mayor Henyard fired her chief of police late last year without any approval from the village board. So now Robert Collins has filed a lawsuit against the village.
And that's where the FBI comes in. They've been quietly investigating for a while now, interviewing witnesses, gathering evidence, and using electronic surveillance to dig into the allegations against Henyard. According to reports, federal agents have been seen around Dolton Village Hall, and although they are staying tight-lipped about the specifics, we can connect the dots. They're looking into everything from political intimidation to financial mismanagement. Speaking of finances, the list of accusations doesn't stop with pressure on businesses. Oh no, it gets worse. Henyard is also being accused of seriously mismanaging taxpayer dollars. She's been living it up, reportedly using village funds to pay for personal travel, luxury accommodations, and even overtime for her personal security detail. That's right. Hundreds of thousands of taxpayer dollars have allegedly been spent on keeping Henyard protected around the clock, and people want to know why.
Mayor Henyard is in a situation where she feels like she's under attack.
Just to put things in perspective, Dolton is not some sprawling metropolis with endless funds. It's a small village, and the idea that taxpayer money is being used for first-class travel and lavish parties is really rubbing people the wrong way. Trustees in the village have been raising red flags about the budget for years, but it seems like those concerns were swept under the rug. Now, with the FBI involved, there's hope that things might finally be exposed.
The township residents are paying for her funds.
One of the most damning pieces of evidence is the trip Henyard and her entourage took to Las Vegas now. There's nothing wrong with a little business trip, but this one has all the makings of a scandal. For starters, the trip was expensive, ridiculously expensive, but that's not all. Allegations have surfaced that the trip wasn't just about business, and there's even a lawsuit accusing Henyard of retaliating against a former employee who spoke up about inappropriate behavior on the trip. Henyard's former assistant, along with a police officer, has filed a civil suit claiming that they were wronged by the village's leadership. The details are still unfolding, but this isn't the kind of attention a sitting mayor wants while under federal investigation. Oh, and if you think Henyard was going to allow an internal investigation to clear things up, think again. She actually vetoed a proposal that would have opened an investigation into her own spending. Yep, you heard that right. She had a chance to come clean and allow a transparent review of her actions, but instead she shut it down. That, naturally, only raises more suspicions. What is she hiding? The village trustees aren't backing down, though. They've made it clear that they plan to override her veto and get to the bottom of things. But as of now, it's just more political drama unfolding at village meetings. In one particularly tense session, residents and trustees were demanding answers, but instead of engaging in a meaningful discussion, Henyard had one resident removed from the meeting after they accused her of stealing from the village. Not a good look when the public already thinks you're up to no good.
Very appreciative to receive the information today. We have the best mayor ever. I've been here since 1993.
But if you thought that was bad, hold on to your seats. The financial issues in Dolton have gotten so out of hand that the village's law firm has decided to drop them as a client. Yep, the firm representing Dolton in nearly 20 lawsuits has thrown in the towel because the village simply can't pay its bills anymore. Henyard's mismanagement has left the village in such financial ruin that even the lawyers are jumping ship. The law firm, Delgado Law, sent a letter to the village saying they plan to withdraw from all the cases due to non-payment of fees. How did things get this bad? Well, we can't say for sure, but it definitely has something to do with the fact that Dolton is millions of dollars in debt. So, with the FBI breathing down her neck, lawsuits piling up, and the village in financial shambles, how is Tiffany Henyard handling all of this? You'd think she'd be hunkering down, laying low, maybe even issuing a public apology. Nope. Instead, Henyard has been hosting lavish parties and posting on social media as if nothing is wrong. She even threw an event called the Friends of Tiffany Henyard Picnic, and yes, it sounds exactly like a campaign of AIM. There were food giveaways, bounce houses, and even skating. But the kicker? The trustees refused to fund the event, saying it was a political rally in disguise. Henyard claims the money came out of her own pocket, but the timing is suspicious, to say the least.
Who would make a one-day purchase of over $40,000 to Amazon? And the main thing is, what is it?
One thing Henyard does not lack is confidence. At the picnic, she took to the microphone to tell everyone that she's innocent, that she's never taken a thing in her life, and that God chose her to lead the people. And sure, maybe that would be a fine message if there weren't serious allegations swirling around her. But with every new revelation, it's getting harder for residents to believe her. When she was pressed about her spending, Henyard dismissed the criticism, saying that people are just trying to control her because she's a strong, independent woman. That's a bold stance to take while under federal investigation. But hey, Tiffany's going all in. And let's not forget what the people of Dolton are saying. There's a real sense of frustration and betrayal in the community. One resident commented Dolton residents need to forcibly remove them from their offices, change all the passwords and door locks, and cancel all the credit cards. It has happened in other cities and states. Others are calling for justice, with one particularly fired up local writing, lock up these scammers and her minions too. I don't forget about them, they will blame her for it. But they are guilty too. But Henyard isn't just dealing with angry residents. The firefighters in Dolton have also come forward with some shocking claims. They say that Henyard embezzled money from their retirement fund, and some of them are afraid to speak out publicly because they fear Rishin. Let that sink in for a minute. The people risking their lives to protect the community are afraid of their own mayor. It's a chilling thought, but it fits the pattern of intimidation that's been reported by so many in the village.
You know, wrong is wrong, and there's a time to hold people responsible and accountable for their actions.
There's no telling how this will all play out, but one thing's for sure, Dolton is watching, and the rest of the country is watching too. The FBI investigation is far from over, and with new allegations surfacing almost weekly, it's clear that Henyard is going to have a hard time wiggling out of this one. So, what do you think? Should Tiffany Henyard step down, or does she deserve a chance to clear her name? Could this be a case of political sabotage, or is it time for Dolton to clean house? Let us know in the comments below, and don't forget to subscribe for more updates on this wild story. This one's far from over.